Hello and welcome to the LocBox screencast on how to run LocBox from a USB key. Now many users will wonder, why would you want to do this? You want to run LocBox from a USB key in cases where you share a computer with other people and you want to keep data on that computer private from the other people who have access to that computer system. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to put the program LocBox onto a USB key and all of the configuration data, which includes your keys, on that USB key. You can then keep your encrypted files on the computer itself, and when the USB key is no longer present, those encrypted files cannot be decrypted by any of the other users of the computer, because they need access to the keys that you're keeping on the USB dongle. So in a previous screencast where I was showing how to create vaults using the Pro version of LocBox, we did the opposite. We kept the encrypted files on the USB key and the LocBox program and the LocBox keys on the computer itself. What we're going to do in this screencast is flip it around and do just the opposite. The program and the keys are kept on a USB dongle and the encrypted files are kept on the computer itself or the Dropbox folder, as the case may be. The other benefit, of course, of running LocBox from a USB key is you can go into an internet cafe, plug in your USB key, run LocBox, and have access to encrypted material that you get off of the internet and get access to it and be able to work with it. And then when you remove the USB key, you take the passwords that you use to protect documents with you away from that internet cafe computer. So to do this, the first thing you need to do is you need to install the LocBox program on the USB key. With the Mac version, you do this by dragging LocBox instead of dragging it to the application link to the application folder. You drag it straight to the USB key itself. So I'm going to do that here. With Windows, when you're running the LocBox installer, by default it wants to install LocBox in your program files folder. Instead, tell it to install LocBox into the USB key itself. So now that I've done that, I now can open up my USB key and I see that I have a LocBox program. When I run LocBox from the USB key, it runs just as if I have been running it from the usual application folder, and up it comes. It is already set up for LocBox Pro because I have run it already on this computer, and that means now that there is a config file with keys and the license code for LocBox that's currently sitting on this computer. Now the default location for the LocBox config file on a Mac is in your home directory's library application support folder, and it's called lockbox.conf, C-O-N-F. On Windows, it goes into your documents and setting folder, and it is also called lockbox.conf. This is the default location. We do not want to run it, we do not want to leave that file on the computer because that file contains all of your passwords that you use to protect files with. We want that to be on the USB key as well. Well, to do this, rather than you manually copying it over, LocBox Pro contains a special option under the file menu called Move Keychain. The Move Keychain option essentially just moves the keychain from its current default location into whatever directory LocBox is currently running from. So if I choose that now, it asks me, am I sure that I wish to do this? I say yes. And when I go back to my USB key, I now see that I have a lockbox.conf file that has been moved into the USB key. That file is no longer in the default location where it originally was. So now whenever I launch LocBox, it always checks to see if there is a lockbox.conf file in the same directory as the application. If there is, it uses that file. If it isn't, it goes to one of the locations I pointed out earlier, whether it's a Mac or a PC. What this means is now all the stuff I use for running LocBox has been isolated to this one USB key. So to prove this, I can quit out of LocBox and rerun it, and you can see that I still have my keys. It's still running with the license code, so it's still the Pro version. and it's all running from the USB key itself. It's no longer depending on anything from the computer itself. I can now happily work with vaults and to do various things with LocBox without leaving any of my keys or any of my critical passwords on the computer itself. I hope you've enjoyed this screencast and encourage you to watch the other screencasts in this series.